Chapter 331, As if nothing happened. The All-Star event continued. Yi Shu was already standing outside the stadium, all alone. This sort of situation was something that he was quite familiar with. In his many years as a pro, he had always left the stage early. He had never participated in any of the press conferences before or after the matches. As glory grew, year by year, he received more and more attention and the media's pursuit and blockade grew fiercer and fiercer. Being able to last so long without being exposed could be seen as no easier than creating an era. He looked back at the great, brightly lit stadium. Compared to it, he looked so measly. Tisk, tisk, Yi Shu clicked his tongue. He had turned his head and prepared to head back to the hotel, when suddenly, he saw a girl sitting on a railing near the street in front of him. She carried a pair of binoculars around her neck and was currently waving at him. Amazing. You're actually even faster than me, Yi Shu greeted back and went to meet her. Hee hee, Su Mucheng laughed and jumped down off of the railing. She was once again wrapped tightly in thick clothing, a cap, and a mouth mask. If Yi Shu hadn't been familiar with her, he wouldn't have been able to recognize her. The match is over. You wanna grab some ice cream? Su Mucheng said. Yi Shu was surprised and asked, that store is still open? It still is. Su Mucheng lifted her binoculars and looked towards the other side of the street. See, she then handed the binoculars over to Yi Shu. Yi Shu looked and, sure enough, in a small street behind Samsara's stadium was a small ice cream shop that still had its lights on. It's winter, though, Yi Shu said. Winter's the best time to eat ice cream. It won't melt as quickly, so you can eat it nice and slow, Su Mucheng said. Alright, let's go, Yi Shu replied. Su Mucheng climbed over the railing. Be more civilized, Yi Shu muttered, but also crossed over slowly the same way. After crossing the street, they entered a small street. The small ice cream shop was still the same as ever. There were 4 little tables for 2 people to sit. The assortment of flavors was displayed on the refrigerator and they each had a small, handwritten price tag attached to them. The owner of the store was a 40-or-so-year-old uncle. When he saw that there were customers, he neither greeted them warmly, nor ignored them coldly. He simply stood in front of the refrigerator and quietly waited for their order. I'll have this one, this one, this one, and this one. Can I have a quarter of each of them? Su Mucheng selected skillfully. Sure. The owner grabbed a large cup and evenly distributed each of the 4 flavors. He stuck a small spoon into the cup, handed it over to Su Mucheng and then turned his gaze over to Yi Shu. Can I smoke here? Yi Shu asked. Yes, the owner nodded his head and, seeing that Yi Shu wasn't going to order anything, he then ignored him. At a little table inside, Su Mucheng fiddled with her ice cream and quickly ate it. Yi Shu smoked his cigarette and quietly sat in front of her. The weather was very cold and so was the ice cream. But this sort of familiar feeling made them feel especially warm. Outside of Samsara's stadium, Chen Guo and Tang Ru finally ran out. Chen Guo also had her binoculars ready. She immediately took them out in order to scout around, but didn't find any signs of Yi Shu. How quick, Chen Guo said. She and Tang Ru had exited the stadium fairly quickly. He said he'd head back first, Tang Ru said. Go. Let's go back. Chen Guo stopped a cab and swiftly returned back to the hotel. They didn't even enter their rooms. They instead, directly knocked on Yi Shu's door, but there was no response. He's still not back, Chen Guo asked. Where'd he go? Maybe he went out on a stroll. Let's wait. Tang Ru opened their door and went in. Is he really Yi Shu? Chen Guo followed behind Tang Ru. Yeah. Tang Ru replied helplessly. Chen Guo had asked this question for the 7th time. This guy? Chen Guo mumbled to herself as she turned on the TV. She switched to the esports channel. The All-Star event was still going on and, just like in the past, the pros would accept the challenges from the audience. This time though, nothing unexpected occurred. The pros easily dispatched the audience members, but the atmosphere never grew as excited as it was before. With such a high climax, aside from the audience members who were chosen to go up, no one could feel as excited as they did before. Chen Guo stared blankly. Her mind clearly wasn't on the TV. Whenever she heard a small movement from outside her room, she would rush out like an arrow, but it would not be Yi Shu. Where'd he go? Chen Guo mumbled. She would look outside the window with her binoculars for a while and then run outside her room to knock on the room next door to see if Yi Shu had come back. After doing this over and over for at least an hour, the second day of the All-Stars weekend ended, but Yi Shu still wasn't back. He doesn't even have a phone, Chen Guo grumbled. At this moment, the event broadcast had ended and the press conference for the second day soon began. The challenge competition's unforeseen event was clearly today's main focus. As one of the main players in it, Du Ming was naturally selected to participate in the press conference and he received God-level treatment. Du Ming had calmed down quite a lot. If he couldn't let go of a loss, how would he survive in the pro scene? Even though losing to a normal player was quite embarrassing, he had still won 4 matches in a row afterwards to prove himself. In addition, the girl's skill had received a lot of acknowledgement after the match. As for that even more abnormal second challenger, even though no one saw his true face, pretty much everyone was certain that he was Yi Chu. So in reality, there wasn't much that could be given from Du Ming. It obviously wouldn't be good for him to appear so unsportsmanlike, so he praised Tang Ru's skill and then showed his respect towards the god. What are your thoughts on God Yi Chu's sudden appearance in the All-Star event? This was a question that practically every reporter asked to all of the pros being interviewed. They had even gone and asked some of the audience members. The replies from the audience members were obviously very brazen. As for the pros, they answered back cautiously and half-heartedly. For this issue on Yi Chu, the reporters obviously wouldn't let go of the chance they had to interrogate Team Excellent Era's players. In the end, Team Excellent Era's players replied very plainly, saying that they hoped he was doing well. There wasn't any substance to their replies. And since Su Mucheng, who was very close to Yi Chu, was nowhere to be seen, no one could interview her. The final highlight shined onto the interview with Han Wenqing. The domineering team captain stared at the camera and bluntly said, "I'll be waiting for your return." This phrase became the reporter's biggest catch and it became the headlines. The media had guessed that this meant Yi Chu was planning on coming back. The fact that Yi Chu had used Dragon raises its head, a move that no one else could replicate and a move that he hadn't used in 2 years. It was his way of telling everyone that he wasn't done yet. Seeing these assumptions from the media, Chen Guo felt a sort of pleased and superior feeling. While everyone was concerned about how he would do it, Chen Guo jumped up with her fists clenched. "Once that guy comes back, I'll definitely ask him." As she said this, she once again walked over to the window and then to outside of the room. Seeing that it was getting late and Yi Shu still wasn't back, Chen Guo was finally beginning to worry. Don't tell me that after his revealing his identity, he won't be coming back? Tang Ru was also startled. "No way, right? He still hasn't received his first month's salary," Chen Guo suddenly said. Her tone was full of sadness. She suddenly discovered that, even though she still wasn't able to equate Yi Shu with Yi Chu, whether it was that lazy and irritating guy or that god that she respected greatly, him leaving so quietly left a bad taste in her mouth. Chen Guo suddenly quieted down and sat on her bed silently. "He'll come back." Tang Ru walked over to comfort her. Just as she said this, they heard a movement from outside their door. It was just that with Chen Guo's mood, she only let out a sigh, but didn't move. Except this time, the movements got closer and closer and then stopped outside of their door. "Is he back?" Chen Guo was still lost in thought. This time, Tang Ru said this and checked. When she opened the door, sure enough, Yi Shu was fiddling with his door. "You're still not asleep?" Yi Shu turned his head and greeted. Chen Guo had already rushed out from the room like the wind. In the end, Yi Shu simply opened his door, turned his head, said "Try to sleep early," and then went into his room. Chen Guo had so many things she wanted to say, but the guy just slipped away. What's going on? Chen Guo's mind wasn't able to process what had just happened. It's as if nothing ever happened. Tang Ru forced a smile. She reckoned that Chen Guo was about to set off. Sure enough, after a short pause, Chen Guo immediately rushed over and madly hammered at his door. Yi Shu opened the door. His face was filled with puzzlement as if he didn't know what was going on. Tang Ru was already speechless. What's wrong? Yishu asked. Explain yourself, Chen Guo said furiously. She had been thinking about how she would approach him. In her head, Yishu and Yichu were two completely different beings. Now that the two were one, should she talk to him like the poor internet cafe employee she knew or the idol she had respected for so many years? Chapter 332, Embarrassing Past. Chen Guo had initially been unsure of what tone to use when talking to Yishu. But after being infuriated by Yishu's attitude as if nothing had happened, she took out her usual furious state for Yishu. Okay, Yishu calmly said and nodded his head. What do you want me to explain? Chen Guo looked like she could pounce and attack him at any moment. Tang Ru hastily stepped in to be the mediator. She pushed the two into the room, while saying, how about you two take a seat first before talking? Pick anywhere you'd like. Yishu brought them into his room and took the role as the room's owner. What exactly is up with you? After Chen Guo sat down, her tone became much calmer, but it could easily be heard from her voice's ups and downs that she was trying to keep her emotions under control. I'm Yichu. Didn't I already tell you that a long time ago? Yishu finally spoke. That counts? Chen Guo turned angry. Then how am I supposed to make it count? Yishu countered back. Chen Guo fell silent. True. How was he supposed to say it so she'd believe him? Chen Guo couldn't refrain from thinking about it. But after thinking for a while, she suddenly remembered, why had she been so certain that Yishu wasn't Yichu? Wasn't it because she had seen his ID card? If you're Yichu, then what's up with Yishu? Chen Guo immediately questioned. Yishu is me as well. Why do you have two names? Now that's a much more complicated question, Yishu said. Chen Guo sat upright, ready to listen to why he had these two names. In the end, her upright posture was for nothing as Yishu was done talking. He then moved a bit as if to tell Chen Guo that he was waiting for Chen Guo's next question. Chen Guo's expression began to gradually grow stiffer. Tang Ru silently turned her head to look out the window. The reason for having two names was something that anyone would be curious about, but Yishu had clearly expressed that answering the question wasn't convenient. He wasn't going to change his mind. From the window's reflection, Tang Ru could see Chen Guo grip her fist and say, why do you have two names? Chen Guo didn't think that Yishu wouldn't be able to recognize that this was the question that needed the most explaining. I can't tell you that, Yishu said. Why? Because, it's a secret, Yishu said helplessly. A reply without any substance, which hid everything of importance. No matter how badly Chen Guo wanted to know, she couldn't force him to speak. She breathed in deeply and calmed herself down. She then asked, then which one is your real name? Guess, Yishu asked back. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Chen Guo took several deep breaths and then slowly stood up. She paced back and forth and then stopped at the window's side and actually guessed. I've seen your ID card. Even though I personally can't tell if it's real or not, when I registered your name for the hotel, your ID wasn't a problem, so it looks like it's real, Chen Guo said. But you've also been in the Pro Alliance. From what I know, the players in the Pro Alliance have to use their ID cards as well. I don't know if the Alliance allows you to change your registered name, since most people don't care. I'm not sure about that. You've played in the Pro Alliance for 7 years and you've never revealed your identity to the public. If I said you simply did it because you like to be secretive, it wouldn't make sense because you told me you were Yichu when we just met. You definitely have other reasons for not wanting to show yourself to the public, so your name of Yichu is probably fake and is also a cover-up for your real identity. That means that Yishu is your true name, right? Chen Guo explained her guess and was quite logical. After saying this, she looked at Yishu, waiting for his response. Yishu was silent for a while, before nodding his head. It seems like it was pretty easy to guess, huh? What do you mean, easy? Are you looking down on my ability to analyze things? Chen Guo said angrily. It was a beautiful analysis, Yishu applauded. So you're saying I'm correct? Chen Guo said. Is it okay if I don't say it? Yishu said. You're really intent on not letting me sleep, Chen Guo grinded her teeth. Okay, I concede. You're correct. Yi Shu. I'm Yi Shu. Yi Shu nodded his head. Why do you need to use a fake name? Why don't you want to reveal your identity? What are you hiding for? Chen Guo was beginning to ask more deeply. Yi Shu stood up. He also walked over to the window and looked outside. Tang Ru looked at his face and discovered an unexpected expression of hesitation. This sort of wavering look was something she had never seen on Yi Shu's face before. Chen Guo silently went back to her seat. She had asked what she wanted. If Yi Shu didn't answer, then she wouldn't force him, so she simply sat down, silent. Yi Shu turned around. His face now held a self-ridiculing smile. The reason is actually very embarrassing. Oh, the two girls' ears perked up. Was he actually going to say it? It's because I ran away from home, Yi Shu said. You ran away from home? Chen Guo repeated stupidly. Tang Ru gave Yi Shu a weird look, which quickly disappeared. Why did you run away? Chen Guo asked. Yi Shu didn't answer. His face said, you know why. Chen Guo immediately understood and, along with a face full of astonishment, she said, it's not because you wanted to play games, is it? Yi Shu smiled bitterly. Chen Guo and Tang Ru looked at each other. Even for Chen Guo, who loved glory, she couldn't understand his actions. Running away from home to play games and becoming so addicted. Was there something wrong with his mind? The room immediately fell silent. Amidst the cloud of awkwardness, no one knew what to say. Yi Shu also returned to his seat. His expression continued to stay calm. But when Chen Guo looked at him again, apart from the skilled god and the infuriating smoking demon, he had another face, an extremely naive child. You. When did you run away? Chen Guo was the one to break the silence. 10 years ago, Yi Shu said. When Glory came out, Chen Guo asked. Around then. You ran away just to play Glory? Not exactly. I played other games before that, as well, Yi Shu said. Chen Guo didn't dig deeper because there wasn't much of a point. In the end, in order to put in every effort he could into playing games, he ran away from home. Then, after Glory came out, he threw himself into Glory, entered the pro scene, and then became a skilled god-level player. The result was very spectacular. On the other hand, Chen Guo was hoping that he had some sort of tragedy occur to him that forced him to run away. If that had happened, then it would have been a lot more moving to listen to. Though unfortunately, Yi Shu had already said that he had run away to play games and he also admitted that it was very embarrassing. Yi Shu understood this very well. He had been very lucky to be talented at the game and also succeed upon the release of Glory. If not, then running away from home might have ended in a tragedy. Then what about now? You've never gone back home to visit? Chen Guo asked. I have, Yi Shu said. Oh. We parted on bad terms, Yi Shu said. How? Because in their eyes, playing games for a living will never be seen as an honest profession, Yi Shu calmly said. Chen Guo was silent. As a gaming fan, she clearly understood this sort of view. Even though Glory's esports scene was thriving and the pros had a luxurious income and a tremendous popularity, it required that the players give up on school. In addition, a pro's career was very short. There also wasn't a good system to guarantee their life's well-being after their retirement. These sort of problems still existed. The chance to become a pro was also very low. Of all of the players playing Glory, only 200 of them were able to make it into the pro scene. No family would encourage their child to walk this path. Every single one of the pros in the alliance had a moment of bitterness in their past. And Yi Shu seemed to be among the more tragic ones. He had run away from home to play. Chen Guo and even Yi Shu himself felt that he had gone somewhat overboard. And for those who looked down on gamers, this sort of behavior would only seem that much worse to them. At least you succeeded, Chen Guo suddenly said because she suddenly felt that the disdain in her heart wasn't right. For some, gaming was seen as a terrible drug, the electronic version of heroin. As for Chen Guo and other players, they saw it as a way to kill time. But what about for Yi Shu and those other pros? Yi Shu hadn't run away from home just to have fun. Chen Guo felt that seeing things like what the majority of society did was somewhat harsh. Yi Shu had ran away from home for his passion, for his ideal, for his pursuit of a dream. If a youth ran away from home to pursue his dream in music, would he receive the same harshness? If a youth ran away from home to pursue his passion for science, wouldn't people see it as a testament to his ambition and drive? There were many examples of this. It was just that not many would accept gaming as one. But for Yi Shu, his dream and passion would never change. I wouldn't get tired even after 10 years. Chen Guo recalled Yi Shu's smile when he said this and suddenly felt the urge to cry. Chapter 333, A Sleepless Night. Chen Guo was never very good at controlling her emotions. When she wanted to laugh, she would laugh. When she wanted to be angry, she would be angry. When she wanted to cry, it was even more troublesome. She didn't hold back her tears. When she thought about Yi Shu's past and realized Yi Shu's helplessness, Chen Guo's nose turned sour and she knew that tears would soon be pouring down. I'm going to sleep. Chen Guo stood up, stamped her feet, and then rushed out. Yi Shu was a bit surprised. From his understanding of her, he assumed that she would begin conducting another, even deeper, interrogation. Who would have thought that the boss would just run out like that? Yi Shu scratched his head and looked towards Tang Ru. Tang Ru smiled and stood up. Then I guess I'll go back and rest as well. All right, Yi Shu nodded his head. After seeing her begin leaving, he put a cigarette to his mouth. Tang Ru walked towards the door and pulled it open. Suddenly, she stopped and turned her head towards Yi Shu. Do you regret running away from home? Never. I just feel a bit sorry. If I regretted it, then I would have gone back long ago. We're still family, Yi Shu said. That's true. Tang Ru paused, nodded her head, and then left the room. The door to the other room was unlocked. Tang Ru didn't hurry in. She leaned on the wall for a bit before finally pushing the door open. When she looked inside, she saw Chen Guo lying there on the bed. Her head was squished between two pillows, like the stuffing in a steamed bun. Ah, what happened? You don't like your hairstyle? Tang Ru walked up and said. You're back. Chen Guo pulled her head out from the pillows and said as if nothing had happened. Her tears had been wiped clean by the pillows already, but her two red eyes couldn't be hidden. Tang Ru kept smiling and said as if she hadn't noticed it, rest early. Quickly, the room turned dark. Chen Guo's eyes were still wide open as she looked towards the stars. Little Tang, are you asleep yet? Chen Guo suddenly asked. Not yet, Tang Ru replied. Do you approve of Yi Shu's reckless playing? Chen Guo asked. Yeah, a simple reply. But now, he can't play, Chen Guo said. Silence. Tang Ru obviously understood what Chen Guo was trying to say. For Yi Shu, the Pro Alliance was his stage. However, he had already retired. On the dazzling all-star stage, he could only be put together with the normal audience and sit there as a spectator. What would he be feeling during those moments? He's not done yet, Tang Ru said. What do you mean? Someone who was determined enough to run away in order to play wouldn't give up so easily. His Lord Grimm will definitely stand on the stage once again, Tang Ru said. Right, Lord Grimm. Chen Guo thought of that account. An unspecialized has never appeared on stage before. He also has that self-made myriad manifestation umbrella. When the time comes, he'll definitely be scary, no? Yeah, that'll be fun, Tang Ru said. But Chen Guo was still worried. She had been following Glory up until now and was a fan of Team Excellent era. She had quietly watched the downfall of the team and had read all sorts of media reporting Yi Shu's slipping condition. Even though she had her own thoughts on it, with so many people saying the same thing, Chen Guo didn't feel very encouraged. It's not that simple, Tang Ru said after listening to Chen Guo's doubts. What do you mean? Chen Guo didn't understand. One night, Tang Ru quickly explained the night when Lu Hao paid a visit to the internet cafe. So there was something like that. Chen Guo jumped up from her bed in astonishment. That's why I think that there is still a lot being hidden about his retirement, Tang Ru said. Chen Guo nodded her head repeatedly. I don't really have a good understanding of that stuff though, so there's only so much I can guess about it, Tang Ru said. I don't know too much about the inner workings of the club, either. However, with Yishu's seniority and status in Excellent Era, I don't really think that such a three-footed cat like Lu Hao would be able to do too much, Chen Guo said. She hadn't originally been so disgusted by him. She had actually supported him before this because he was the vice-captain, but in the blink of an eye, her impression of him turned into a three-footed cat. So you're saying that there's no way these guys could cause such a storm and that there are most definitely other reasons as well, Tang Ru said. But in Excellent Era, only the club's owner would have a higher status than him, right? Chen Guo said. If the owner wanted to kick him out, then it would be easy to do it, right? Tang Ru said. In theory, but he has to consider a lot of things too. For example, his team's stability, the fans' feelings, the sponsors, etc. Chen Guo had never experienced it herself, but she had seen it before. After following Glory for so many years, she understood quite a few things. If for you it's like that, then what if some of the players on the team objected to him, so even if he left the team wouldn't become a mess but, on the contrary, be even more steady, Tang Ru said. And as for the sponsors, he never showed his face, so he had no one to speak for him. He also doesn't help advertise what the sponsors want, so no matter how amazing he is at the game, he's of very little value to the sponsors, Chen Guo said. As for the fans' feelings, they saw that the team was performing poorly and that the captain's condition had been falling as well. For those reports you talked about, they often put those 2 points as one and the same. For these reports, were these truthful public media reports or was there someone in the dark leading the discussion? Tang Ru said. If there was someone spinning the webs behind all this, then the two girls discovered that there were many more possibilities now. So you're saying that Team Excellent Era basically wanted to kick him out? Chen Guo said in astonishment. And it's not just kicking him out of Team Excellent Era, but also kicking him out of the Glory Pro scene, Tang Ru said. That's going too far. Chen Guo jumped up again. When she thought of Yishu's hidden heavy feelings and how hard he had worked in order to open the path for Team Excellent Era's golden age, only to be kicked out after considerable planning, she felt sympathetic towards him. How terrible! Chen Guo jumped down from her bed. She ran to grab a cup of water and drained it down. These are all just guesses, Tang Ru said. It sounds right. Why else would he suddenly retire out of nowhere? His condition is slipping? Did you know? When he fought with Du Ming, he used Dragon Raises its head. Do you know what that is? Maybe you don't know yet, but this is a move that only one person in the entire Glory can pull off. Even though it hadn't been used in a while, he used it again today. Slipping condition? T. Chen Guo fired off like a cannon. Then there's something else I analyzed. Wanna listen? Tang Ru asked. Go ahead. Chen Guo threw down her cup, wiped her mouth and returned back to bed. He said before, that when he went back home, he parted on bad terms, right? Tang Ru said. Yeah. What's the salary for a pro player in Glory? Compared to the average person, Tang Ru said. How could they be compared? Each and every contract is at a sky-high price in addition to other sponsorship money. The above-average ones can easily get more in a year than what you can get in 100 years staying in my internet cafe, Chen Guo said. Yishu had been a top-tier god in Glory since the very beginning. Even if his family doesn't understand his achievements, with just his income, his family should have at least been able to recognize that, even though there are several problems with being a pro gamer, Yishu's an exception. He had already become a top-tier player in the pro scene and he shouldn't be so disdained like that, right? Tang Ru said. Yeah, that's true. With his status, he shouldn't have too much to worry about, Chen Guo said. However, they still parted on bad terms. That's why I think that his family probably isn't an ordinary family. His status as a Glory Pro player and his income didn't mean anything in front of his family's eyes, Tang Ru said. Could he be from an extremely wealthy family? Chen Guo said in astonishment. That's hard to say, but his family can't be so simple. Whether his family is high up in the political world, business world, or even literary world, his future had already been decided when he was born. He might have a bit of leeway in his choices, but for him to become a pro gamer? That choice probably didn't exist. That's why, no matter how incredible his achievements are, his family will never acknowledge him, Tang Ru said. That makes sense, Chen Guo nodded her head. Tang Ru went silent for a moment. After seeing that Chen Guo wasn't going to say anything, she continued, if we go further, when Yishu is no longer able to go on any longer in the pro scene, where will he go then? Is his home his first choice? When things got here, Chen Guo suddenly understood, so you're saying that his retirement might also have something to do with his family? Yeah, I have that sort of feeling, Tang Ru said. That Chen Guo didn't know what to say. If it had only been Excellent Era conspiring, then she could still justly support Yishu and look down on Excellent Era. But if it really was Yishu's family causing mischief, that would become a family issue and she wasn't in any position to say anything. What status did she have? A fan? Yishu's current boss? If his family really had been working behind the scenes, then his family's background can't be simple. We might be able to look for clues about his family's background from his ID card's address, Tang Ru said. Chen Guo heard this, stunned. After a short pause, she said, I just discovered that your talent in gossiping is even greater than mine. Chapter 334, Day 3. The two girls still didn't sleep. They were once again whispering to each other. This was when Tang Ru's deduction stopped though because, in the end, she didn't really understand the Glory Pro scene that well. Even after she began playing the game seriously, most of her attention was still focused on improving herself. She wasn't a true fan like Chen Guo, who paid attention to the news reports on the pro scene and all the random gossip there. The two did a recount of what they had discussed. Even though they had deduced all sorts of scenarios, it would be way too disrespectful and impolite to actually take Yishu's ID card and force him to explain his background. It'd be better to ask when an opportunity comes. If he doesn't want to say it, then that's that, Tang Ru said. Okay. The gossip demon inside Chen Guo was still burning, but she was still someone who understood what proper behavior was. The real question is, what is he planning on doing for the future? Is he just going to wait around for a year and then apply with his unspecialized Lord Grimm? With his ability, he wouldn't have any trouble getting in, but which team does he plan on joining? Excellent Era probably isn't an option, no, Chen Guo said. It'd be best to wait for an opportunity to ask, Tang Ru said. Okay. The two girls chatted, until they finally fell asleep. Early next morning, the sunlight lit up the room around their wake-up time. After telling each other good morning, they did their daily routines and then looked at each other. The two sneakily walked up outside their neighboring door. After hearing Yishu reveal a bunch of stuff yesterday night and then analyzing it, they realized that Yishu had a lot of things he needed to worry about. They couldn't help but prod carefully, afraid that they might accidentally trigger something. The two girls put their heads against the door, one on top, one on the bottom, in order to listen. The cleaning lady came out of the neighboring room, pushing a small cart and looked suspiciously at the two of them. Cough, Tang Ru immediately coughed after realizing that they had been discovered. Chen Guo hastily stood up, turned her head to look at the cleaning lady, and officially said, "There's no need to clean our room today." Understood, the service lady said, pushing her cart over and turning her head every couple of steps. The two felt too embarrassed to continue with their previous actions. They also had to do something to try and explain themselves, so they directly knocked on the door. After a while, Yishu opened the door. His eyes were sleepy as he looked at the two of them. Why so early? Are we going on a walk again? Even if you try to kill me, I'm not going. You're still not awake? Then go sleep a bit longer, Chen Guo said. Before yesterday, she didn't think she'd have been able to speak so nicely to Yishu. Tang Ru shivered. Yishu also straightened up and immediately woke up. He looked at Chen Guo and after a short pause, he asked, "How long is a bit?" "However long you want," Chen Guo said. Yishu continued to be shocked. He looked towards Tang Ru and pointed at Chen Guo. Did something happen? Tang Ru looked up at the ceiling. It's probably your strength as her idol. Really? Wow. Yishu put out the expression pros used when they looked at the camera after winning a match. Buy me breakfast and send it to my room. Bang. Yishu closed the door, almost hitting Chen Guo's nose. Tang Ru watched as Chen Guo's warm expression gradually disappeared. After a few twitches, she looked as if she was about to kick the door down, when Tang Ru hastily stopped her. Can't you see that he was doing it intentionally? Why do you always fall for his traps? Who knew if it was because of Tang Ru's urge or her idol's status, but Chen Guo didn't kick the door. She tugged on Tang Ru. HMPH, we're going to eat breakfast. In the dining hall, Chen Guo's furious munching on her steamed buns attracted a few glances from other guests. They were all astonished at how such a pure-looking girl could eat so barbarically. For a moment, glances toward Tang Ru's pleasing appearance were snatched away cleanly. After annihilating her breakfast, Chen Guo looked at the menu and revealed a hesitant expression. Tang Ru laughed and asked, while wiping her mouth, should we bring him something? No, never. It had probably been better not to say anything. When Tang Ru asked this, Chen Guo immediately made a decision and got up to leave. Tang Ru laughed once again. She stayed a bit behind her, calling for a waiter to send that room some breakfast. Chen Guo saw her doing this from the reflection from a window, but pretended she didn't know. Back at her room, Chen Guo continued to vent her anger through the TV by mashing the remote control and switching channels randomly. Tang Ru didn't say anything about that. She turned on the computer and logged into the game. When she got in, she discovered that Yi Shu was online. Why aren't you sleeping? Tang Ru said, surprised. I woke up from the noise and didn't want to sleep anymore, Yi Shu replied. Breakfast will be sent to you soon. Oh, thanks. After only a short exchange, Chen Guo came over. Seeing that Tang Ru was playing Glory and then the chat, she angrily said, didn't he say he was sleepy? She then rushed out of the room to knock on the neighboring room's door. Yi Shu went to open it. Chen Guo wanted to say something, but she didn't know where to start. Yi Shu lowered his head and looked suspiciously at her two hands. Where's my breakfast? 2 steamed buns the size of my fists. You want them? Chen Guo raised her fists. They looked like the striker's collapsing fist, which Yi Shu's rival Han Wenqing was an expert at using. Little Tang, I thought you said that breakfast was coming. Did you set me up? Yi Shu cried out for help. A misunderstanding, Tang Ru's voice floated by. They had only finished half of their planned shopping spree yesterday, but Yi Shu said that he refused to come today. Chen Guo and Tang Ru discussed for a bit and then decided not to go, either. As a result, the 2 rooms turned into 2 internet cafe booths where Glory was being played. Yi Shu was watching TV, though. Each room had a computer. Tang Ru and Chen Guo occupied both stations, while Yi Shu had been kicked out. The reasoning couldn't be disputed. You're already so skilled, so why do you need to practice? To level up. If it's just that, then I can help you, Chen Guo said. As a result, Chen Guo played on Yi Shu's Lord Grimm account. A normal player getting the chance to use a silver weapon? Plus, the myriad manifestation umbrella could change forms. Yi Shu taught her how to use it and then Chen Guo slowly began playing with it. She was practically always switching forms. How was she killing monsters to level up? Wasn't she just using his weapon as a toy to play with? Seeing that she was having so much fun, he didn't stop her. Yi Shu ran over to look at Tang Ru and instructed her on a few battle mage techniques. Dragon raises its head. This type of high-end technique was obviously way beyond someone like Tang Ru, who wasn't even level 40 yet. Even though she had been watching yesterday, Dragon raises its head didn't seem like much in her eyes. She didn't really know what was so startling about it. However, yesterday night, Chen Guo had explained repeatedly how incredible Dragon raises its head was. She didn't know how many times she had repeated herself, but in the end, it made Tang Ru change her mind and realize why it had been so shocking. Now that the user was here, Tang Ru really wanted to ask him. It was still early, though. Her character's level wasn't quite there yet and there was no way she could practice it yet, so what was the point in knowing? Although, now, her motivation to level was even greater. What did you think about yesterday night? After Yi Shu came in, he asked for Tang Ru's opinion on the match. It felt good, Tang Ru recalled. Her emotions were quite complicated. She wasn't able to figure out how to describe it. She just felt that something had sprouted in her and was making her itch all over. Do you want to come with me into the Pro Alliance? Yi Shu asked. Go with you? Yeah, I'm definitely going back. As for you, you'd definitely be good enough to become a pro. The real peak of glory isn't a single strong person, but rather to be the champions of the Pro Alliance. Occasionally beating someone isn't anything to be praised for. Being able to complete the challenges over the entire season and finally beating every single opponent, now that's the true throne, Yi Shu said. But you've already become the champion 3 times. What's that to you? Tang Ru laughed. There's no highest, there's only higher, Yi Shu replied. So you're saying that surpassing you really is going to be hard? Just beating you in PK isn't going to be enough, Tang Ru said. Kid, why do you like competing with me so much? No matter how you say it, you're also at the peak of glory. We can just look at how many championships you've won to see it. Even if your 3 championship titles weren't consecutive titles, you're still the one with the most titles in glory, right? Oh, if you say it like that, then I really am quite amazing. Yi Shu looked out from the window. Who do you think will stand at the top this year? Tang Ru suddenly asked. This year, Yi Shu was startled. Tang Ru had unexpectedly asked this question. He hadn't been prepared for it. You can't know until the last day. That's what makes things interesting, Yi Shu said. That's true. Not being able to know until it happens is the most interesting, Tang Ru said. Keep it up. You can definitely become a participant and not a bystander. Okay, I'll think about it, Tang Ru nodded her head. If you've made a decision, then don't be like me, Yi Shu said. Tang Ru listened and understood what he was saying. She turned her head towards Yi Shu and laughed. I'm not 15. I haven't been 15 in a long time, either, Yi Shu grinned. Today, nothing else happened until it was time for the All-Star event. Yesterday, the 3 had shone in the spotlight, especially Yi Shu. In the press conference after the event, many of the pros straight up told the reporters that he had to be Yi Shu. Would their seats be surrounded by dogs today? Chapter 335, All-Star 24, 1. From up above in the hotel, the bright Samsara Stadium could be seen from the window. They were already busily preparing for the final day. The All-Star Weekend was a 3-day event and only had a 1-day pass and a 3-day pass. Chen Guo had managed to obtain 3-day passes. But just from their retail price, it could be seen that the ticket for the 3rd day was the most expensive. There was only one event on the 3rd day, the All-Star competitions. The 24 players that were chosen by the fans, in other words, the 24 most popular players, would be split into 2 teams and would compete in an official match format with an individual competition, a group competition, and a team competition. Even though the competition was simply just for show, the number of viewers and the ratings it received could be compared to those of the finals in the regular season. As a result, Chen Guo would be very conflicted as to whether she wouldn't be able to watch the All-Star event live at the stadium. Tang Ru and Yi Shu, on the other hand, didn't really care. Tang Ru still hadn't logged out of the game, while Yi Shu was still giving her pointers. They would only turn their heads around whenever Chen Guo said something. In reality, your family all know that you're a pro player, right? Chen Guo suddenly asked Yi Shu. Yeah, Yi Shu didn't turn his head around this time. Then why are you still afraid of revealing yourself? Chen Guo found the chance to dig deeper. Initially, I didn't want them to find out, but later, I didn't want to embarrass them. In their eyes, no matter how great I become, I'm just a failure to them, Yi Shu said. Chen Guo fell silent. She realized that she shouldn't have dug so deep into Yi Shu's roots. Perhaps he didn't want to remember these things, but she had helped him in bringing them up. She felt extremely bad for doing so. With this ounce of regret, Chen Guo immediately patted the TV. Forget about it, then. We won't go tonight. We can just watch from the TV. Actually, it'll be fine if only I don't go. It's not like it matters if you two go, Yi Shu said. Oh, that's true. When the reporters come, I can give my internet cafe some advertisement. Chen Guo spoke her thoughts. Tang Ru turned her head and said, but if you do that, when the customers come, they might be there to crowd around instead of going online, no? Oh, Chen Guo sighed in lament, I forgot about that. Go, go. You guys go ahead. Yi Shu stood behind Tang Ru and urged them. What are you going to do? Tang Ru turned her head to look at him. You're going to watch the event, no? Let me play, Yi Shu exclaimed. That isn't your actual reason, is it? You just want to play the game, Chen Guo said. No way. Didn't I already tell you about my difficulties? Yishu said. It was just that his tone was very casual and didn't sound pained. Chen Guo doubted for a second, but then decided not to say anything more and turned towards Tang Ru. Tang Ru obviously knew that no matter what, Chen Guo still wanted to go very much. It hadn't been easy getting the tickets. Missing the big event like this would be something that no fan wouldn't regret. As a result, she got up and gave the seat to Yishu. Then we'll be going now. Go, go, Yishu waved his hands. He swiftly logged out of Tang Ru's Soft Mist account and logged on to play his Lord Grimm. You're not going to watch the All-Star event? Chen Guo asked. I will, but it's still early, no? When the time comes, I'll watch, while playing the game, Yishu said. Thus, the two girls left the room, leaving Yishu alone. The All-Star competition deserved to be comparable with the finals. It greatly impacted the number of players online. In the afternoon, the leveling areas were still quite crowded, but as it got closer to the peak hours at night, there were fewer players. Playing while watching? That wasn't something easy to do. An intensive game like Glory didn't allow for much room to be distracted when fighting. As a result, Yishu played for a bit and then, when he saw that it was almost time, he logged out of the game and turned on the TV. The press conference began before the competition. At this moment, the 24 All-Stars hadn't yet got on stage yet, when suddenly they were swarmed by reporters. The first one to be interviewed was at the pro player seats. He had arrived early, the upright Team Tyranny vice-captain, Zhang Jinji. Hello, vice-captain, the reporter hastily went forward. Hello, Zhang Jinji nodded his head. Even though it's the All-Star event, you've still kept your habit of arriving on stage 30 minutes earlier, the reporter began to talk. Yes, Zhang Jinji nodded his head. I'm sure our audience is looking forward to how the teams will be split. Could you give us an early reveal? The reporter said. Zhang Jinji looked at the reporter strangely. Isn't one of the rules not to reveal things early? Ha ha, it's about to start in half an hour anyways. It's not like it's going to matter much, the reporter said. Zhang Jinji shook his head, no comment. The atmosphere stiffened. The reporter could only switch to a different topic. With vice-captain's class, you're probably going to be competing in the team competition. As one of the master tacticians, could you have already prepared some sort of amazing strategy? You'll know when the times comes, Zhang Jinji politely replied. His tone didn't reveal anything. Thank you, vice-captain. The reporter was helpless and could only end this pointless interview. Afterwards, he looked around and saw that someone was already sitting at Team Excellent Era's seat, Su Mucheng, one of the 24 All-Star players. The relationship between Su Mucheng and Yi Chu wasn't a secret and it was currently an extremely good topic to talk about. The reporter wouldn't let this opportunity slip and immediately rushed forward along with the cameraman. Mucheng, could you give the audience a wave? The reporter said. Hi, Su Mucheng waved her hands at the camera. Are you watching TV? Yi Shu, who was sitting in front of the TV, was completely speechless. Wasn't that wave a bit personal? Sure enough, the reporter caught it and laughed. Your wave was a bit special. Was there some sort of special meaning to it? Su Mucheng smiled. You understand. Were you waving to Yi Chu? The reporter understood. Yup, Su Mucheng confirmed. So you're saying, Yi Chu won't be coming to watch today? The reporter immediately became aware of this issue. I actually have no idea, Su Mucheng said. But you just waved your hands at the camera, the reporter said. Isn't it the same thing? If he's watching in front of the TV, then you'll have seen me. If he's at the stadium, then you'll see me on the big screen, as well. Su Mucheng pointed to the big screen in the stadium, which was broadcasting this interview. So it's like that. Thank you, Mucheng. The interview ended. The frame temporarily cut off and the reporter went to find another target. The broadcast turned the camera around towards the audience. Yi Shu looked. Wasn't the camera pointed at Chen Guo and Tang Ru? The broadcast team had clearly prepared for this and began to focus in on them. These two beautiful girls very naturally looked good on camera. Even though it didn't have the same feeling as it did yesterday, they were still pleasing to look at. However, the feature clearly wasn't towards them. The camera turned and then stopped at the empty seat beside the two of them. After the reporter found another all-star to interview, the camera turned back to the interview. For matches like these, the pros were more relaxed. Very few of them would be as official like Zhang Jinji was. They joked around with the reporter and made fun of pros they were friends with. The 30 minutes before the event officially began went by quickly. When the event officially began, the stadium's lights turned off. Even though the list of which 24 players were chosen had been released on the first day of the event, the true All-Star event really only began on the final day. The spotlights flashed on. The first to come up on stage was Samsara's ace player, Joe Sakai. Under the dazzling lights, he stepped onto the stage and a projection appeared beside him, which was Joe Zakai's character, Cloud Piercer. The crowd gave a deafening cheer for their home team's ace. Joe Zakai also acted very appropriately. Along with his looks, he gave off an air that was fit for a god. The second player to come up on stage was also a Samsara player, Zhang Batao. His character Empty Waves was a spellblade and was second in Team Samsara only to Joe Zakai. Only the player's name and character was introduced, so the introductions went by very quickly. After Samsara's two players, next up was Team Blue Rain. They had 3 players in this year's All-Star event. Yu Wenzhou. Character, Swaksar. Class, Warlock. Huang Shaoshan. Character, Troubling Rain. Class, Blade Master. Yu Feng. Character, Brilliant Edge. Class, Berserker. Next came Team Misty Rain's 2 players. Chu Yongshu. Character, Windy Rain. Class, Elementalist. Li Hua. Character, Dark Forest. Class, Ninja. Team 100 Blossoms. Tang Hao. Character, Delillo. Class, Brawler. Zhou Yuan. Character, Dazzling 100 Blossoms. Class, Spitfire. The 2 Team 100 Blossom players were somewhat of an anomaly. Tang Hao was a rookie who had only been a pro for 2 years. His character Delillo wasn't anything special in the pro circle, but based on his outstanding performance in the last year, he had won over many fans and was able to obtain a spot as an all-star despite his mediocre account. As for Zhou Yuan, he was the exact opposite of Tang Hao. This hastily found substitute, using their original team captain Zhang Zhao's dazzling 100 Blossom, didn't have much going for him. The reason he was able to become one of the 24 All-Stars was largely because of dazzling 100 Blossom's popularity. There were too many Glory fans who didn't want to see this god-level character missing from the All-Star stage. Zhou Yuan clearly understood this. On the stage, he quietly stepped back when the projection of dazzling 100 Blossoms appeared.